Welcome, boys and girls. It's Saturday. Of course, it's not at John's, but what can I say? So let me get this stream image transitioned. All right, there we go. Okay, we're off today. What I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to put the fuselage together. So we'll have basically the wing, the elevator stabilizer, and today the fuselage will go together. So if I look back, this airplane's approximately only a month old, just a little bit over a month. So we're doing pretty well as far as time goes. We got one current viewer. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share the videos. I know a lot of guys watch them and don't give it a thumbs up. Even a thumbs down helps the channel, believe it or not. But I mean, I don't know why you'd give it a thumbs down unless you're going to do something better. Anyway, so let me give you an update on what happened. If you saw in a few videos past, I had started building this rudder with the sub rudder for the landing, the tail wheel, and it's to an airfoil, as you can see here. But this all was coming out way too heavy. So my next idea, I'm not gonna work on the rudder today. I'm gonna work on the fuselage, unless I get the fuselage done and I can get an idea where the rudder needs to be. Anyway, so my idea is to take this piece, which is the sub rudder and tail wheel mount, which weighs remember, I have a target weight, and if I don't meet that, it's not right. Yeah, it doesn't weigh 20 ounces. So this weighs 7 grams. So my thought is that if this weighs 7 grams, a plywood floor and a wire, I don't have one here to bend up and check, but a plywood floor and a wire has got to be about the same weight as this. I would say 7 grams. So now I have 7 grams to go for the rudder. So I'm going to just build it up, stick in tissue, and we'll leave it unsheeted. You know, I just noticed I got some push rod over here. I wonder if this is the right stuff. Nope, this is too big. Oh, darn. Well, I got more push rods coming. Anyway, so we're going to do the carbon fiber method. Hold on, I'll be away from the mic for just a second. I'm going to get this carbon out. Come on. Very hard when you live in an apartment. You got no room. Buried. There we go. Sorry about that, but I had to get that this roll of carbon out. And I've been buying my carbon fiber from Aerospace Composites. This is a pretty old roll of stuff, but it doesn't have a shelf life on it. So now this is the 2/10. I don't have any of the half ounce or the 0.5, which is fine. Because I don't think this stuff offers much strength anyway. It's the glue. It's a glue holder. So we're going to need, let me move this rudder drawing out of the way. We'll get this glued up and starting to set. Now I've asked on the forum and on the stream here, would you rather I do movies and edit them, or would you rather I stream them live? And a lot of guys want to see it live. Okay. I mean, it's kind of some wasted time in it, but that's okay. Let me move this screen over so I can see the chat. All right. I guess I could put my tablet up and watch the chat, but that's okay. Anyway, let's get this going. So, in a previous episode, I had cut my parts for the fuselage. If you notice, I have all these marks on this stuff. This is where the glue goes. If you don't do this, it could be a disaster. Could be. Okay. The only problem is I forgot to cut some 3/8 by half motor pads. Hopefully I got some somewhere. That's number 2. At least we'll get some of this stuff off the shelf so I can start using it for what the shelf is for. Nope. Must have fell down behind, so I'll have to make some more. Or we'll just use this. Probably just use this. Anyway. So the first thing I need to do is cut some carbon. Yeah, we got somebody asking a question here. Good morning, Mike. So we're going to use the doubler as a guide to how much carbon I need. And we'll whack off a bit here. A lot of guys are using this carbon on their airplanes. Just all over the airplane, doped on. I don't see the... I tried it. I mean, my Thunderbolts were done with it. Matter of fact, the wing on my Monado is done with it. It makes a real good filler. It's kind of like a guide coat. But it can't possibly offer any strength just doped on. It makes things harder, but there's no strength in dope, and the only way this has any strength is the glue, in my opinion. Now, Hunt may tell you something different, but opinions vary, so that's fine. So I ended up wasting that much. Woo! Okay. So I work at this place that I do a lot of wiring. And all the black tape comes in these handy little containers. These are the greatest containers. You mix up the epoxy, and when you're done, you just crack it and it pops right out. So, we're going to mix up some, I think I got some 15-minute here. Maybe. Yeah, in this box, possibly. Possibly. Well, there's the rubber bands I was looking for a month ago. Nope, no 15 in there. That's a Z-epoxy. Yep, here's one of the 15s, and now I gotta find the other one. Is there enough here? If not, we'll use Z-epoxy. None in there. Okay, that's a Z-epoxy. I got two Z-epoxies. I'd rather have resin. Now there's a 30-minute. Okay, so that's a 30. I'd rather have a rubbery type glue than a brittle glue like Z-epoxy is. It's a finishing resin. So that's not really an adequate glue for this. Well, I got 15 minutes of this. This is the hardener. And 30 minutes of that. And 5 minutes. What the hell happened to the glue? Well, I'm going to have to dig for the glue for a minute. Sorry, guys. Got so many boxes and things around here. Not in here. I got some more nuts and bolts I didn't know I had. Put them over here to put them where they belong. Fuel line. No. Yeah, we're going to need this. This is a Jim Lee drill jig for Super Tiger. That works pretty good. We'll need that part. I was told last night that some of you guys like the goofy stories I tell. Well, we may come up with one. What happened to the glue? Oh, unbelievable. I guess I could 5-minute it. Let me look over here. I don't think I put any glue in these drawers. I got some Aerogloss in there. No glue. Impact. Oh, darn. What am I going to do for glue? How about this other box over here? I apologize, guys. These streams are very impromptu. Nope, not in there. Look in the closet, I guess. Except I can't. My wing is in the way. Yeah. No glue in there. Got some isopropyl alcohol. That's important stuff. Well, we're going to have to do something else. I have no I have no hardener for that glue. That's 15-minute. Well, it's thick, but it's got to be right here on the bench. Aggravating. I wonder if it fell down underneath. It's not in the planter's can. Ah, it did. I think. No, that's air freshener. No, I don't see it. Spray a little air freshener in here. Okay, we're gonna do something else. It's not a problem. So I got a heat gun here. Let me look in this box. If somebody was here, I'm gonna take all this stuff and throw it out. All this wood and stuff. Scraps. I had a Zap glue caddy. I should have been using it, but I don't have it here. I guess we need a pilot for this thing. Oh, that's right. I got Tommy Looper's pilot. We got a couple nose blocks. That's a good light piece of wood. Another light, super light piece of wood. Okay, I have no hardener for that 30-minute, so we're going to use 15. So I have a heat gun here. Let's see if we can soften up this hardener. This could go very, very wrong, but we'll do it anyway. Because I'm going to get a fuselage built today. Alright, I have a 15-minute hardener with 30-minute resin. But I know the only difference between the two is the hardener. So we're just going to heat up this hardener that's been ancient and see if we can't turn it into some usable stuff. Oh yeah. You know, I had some other stuff besides this too around here somewhere. Unless I used it all. Somebody will come on here and say, "You can't do that." Watch me. it'll do something, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, whatever. That bottle's so darn hot, can't hardly hold it. I got to get it all out of there because we're going to use it all. Let's see what somebody has said something. Somebody said, how do you get rid of polyspan fuzzies? Well, first off, you shouldn't have any fuzzies if you put it on the right way. There's a shiny side and a fuzzy side. If you put it on the fuzzy side, keep adding dope. All right. Well, we killed the hardener. So if I add 15 and 30-minute epoxy together, the cure time is going to be 45 divided by 2, 22 and a half minutes. You guys buy that? What could go wrong? Okay. So I've mixed them approximately 50-50, probably a little more resin than hardener, which is okay. I gotta get this wire out from under here. Got a drill bit. Okay. So now we're gonna need some wax paper again. Some of this stuff is just invaluable. Okay, before I put this fuselage together, I'm going to check and make sure that I have them correct. So that is this side and that is this side. I do. Okay. Now the problem is we're going to have a little wait time for this to dry unless I move that wing somewhere and set it over on the, I could do that. And then we could work on something else, work on the crutch. Okay, let me move this wing. We'll move this wing onto the couch, I guess. It's tough to work in a spot this small. I have zero working room. We'll be building this fuselage on this piece of whiteboard anyway, so we'll need it after a bit. Okay. You can't do that. Okay, wings over on the couch. Out of the way, so to speak. We'll turn our direction over this way. What this is just a piece of particle board that comes from Lowe's with the white stuff on it on each side. It's on top of a piano stand. So, wax paper down first. We're going to build our fuselage in about 20 minutes right here on this table. So it doesn't much matter. Remember, I put out the squiggly lines to show the glue side. I did check myself, check my work, so because once you put the glue on it, you're sunk. So make sure you know what you're doing. So this one here also has the glue marks on it. It goes this way. And this one here has the glue marks on it, and it goes this way. So we have carbon fiber to go between the two pieces. So we want to glue, start, hopefully I got enough glue. If not, I'll have to go to 5 minutes. And then you got to hustle. So we'll mix the glue. Yeah, there should be enough glue here. I would hope. Acid brush, I know I got them somewhere. Should have probably looked for them before I started this. There's one. Okay, globule of glue. This is the only place where you use a bunch of glue. Because this, what I'm doing here is basically the foundation of your airplane. If your motor's not solid, the airplane will never fly right. You'll never be able to get a good engine run out of it. The airplane should feel like a baseball bat in the nose. So that's this piece here. Quite a bit of glue on there. But that's the only thing that gives the carbon its strength is the glue. So you have to have enough glue to impregnate the carbon. The only reason why I don't use 5-minute epoxy here is not because it's not strong enough, it's because you can't work fast enough. So rub it back and forth, get a good smoothie of glue on there. So now they're evenly, you could do it without the carbon, but we're going to put the carbon in it. Okay, there's one set and ready. We'll get some books after I get all the glue on everything. Remember, if you're watching videos that don't show and you have never seen the person's airplane, be skeptical. Videos on how to build. There's some good RC videos out there. Ramy RC, I watch that guy. I don't fly jetliners. I don't fly electric, and I don't fly RC. But if you pay attention to what he's doing, he's a real modeler. He's from Germany. There was another guy I used to watch too. He built some P-47s, Zeroli P-47 scale birds. Super nice. But he's, from what I hear, he passed away. Gonna miss that channel. I used to like to watch them. Can you guys hear me okay? If you want to hear me. I changed the bit rate on the audio. If it says it's too low now, it's as high as it can go, so I see somebody type something. I'll get to you in a second. I have to put a move on this stuff. Is starting to set. You have no idea how upset I'd be if, because I was making a movie, I screwed this up. I'm sure I'll get asked why I just did what I did. I did what I did to spread the glue evenly between the two pieces. There's a lot of glue on there. And you want, now this is a 6-pound C grain, 1/8 inch for the doubler. So there you have it. Let's get rid of this stuff. Wipe my hands and get some books on it. And we'll leave that set. Okay, so first I gotta do is wipe my hands. I don't have any acetone. I do have some dope thinner in here. I'm sure the neighbors would love that smell. It's hard to believe how many airplanes have come out of this little apartment. Gotta set the headset down. That's all I'm going to put on it. I got some more. I got a full set of these aircraft encyclopedias, but man. Anyway, let's, what do we want to work on while I'm doing this? I guess we can work on the crutch. Now the problem is, I don't have a drill press here, so I'm going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. And I'm not sure that I have any 1/8" motor pads. I have some titanium ones, but my friend John has the mill, so I can't use those yet. I can use them for sizing. I got it. I'll use 1/8" plywood and replace them later. Okay. Yeah, it's getting sticky. We have to use 1/8" plywood to set the thrust line because the motor is not the same height, or the engine lugs is not the same height as the thrust line the way that I do it. The way that I do a crutch is a piece of 3/16 on the top, so when you round over the fuselage, you're not rounding into the engine bearer. So it's set up on here like so, plus an 1/8" on top of this, which sets the thrust line. Now the datum line is the top of this block here. That's the datum line. Let's see, somebody's typed something. Let me make sure that I can see what they've said. Alcohol. Yeah, I need a bigger workbench, Richard. I source supplies, so all my wood used to come from Stunhanger Hobby. I'm giving Okie Air a try. We'll see what happens with him. If I can't get what I need, I'm going to have to source it elsewhere. Call Eric at USA Balsa or National Balsa or one of those places. As far as everything else, we make everything. My airplanes are built, not bought. We got some horn blanks coming at some time. You know, I have my hinges pin routed and make those. Bell cranks, of course, I did. This is a Tom Morris. This is a Tom Morris Brett Buck designed bell crank. And what makes it a Brett Buck designed bell crank is the way that the lead outs pivot through the crank itself, the way it's attached. You don't have to do it this way. The old way was just a bolt and it attached on top. This is better. It's more even pull. The original Brett Buck bell cranks were aluminum sandwich with a balsa wood center. Chris Rudd has crashed his airplane because they become delaminated. So this is a phenolic copy. Tom Morris, Okie Air, or this came from Tom Morris, but Okie Air sells the same bell crank. I think it's around $20. And you say $20? Well, I just spent $85 for some titanium push rod ends and little to nothing. I got 2 control horns and a couple of push rod ends and 2 sets of lines $85. It's just the way it is. So, hey, here's some 1/2 inch I can source for these pieces. Okay, the scrap is going to become valuable. So I need 3 of those. These are the standoffs between the 2 engine bearers. I'll show you here as I go. We'll glue this together with 5-minute. There's not so much jockeying around with parts, so it's not a big deal. Now, how in the heck did that thing get so far out of square? Yeah, it is though. Saved it. So check square. Oh, I need a bigger workbench. You're darn right I do. Yep, epoxy's it's setting up. Let's hope that it didn't shift or slide. I think I'm gonna have to turn on the air conditioner here. And looks like I'm missing a motor mount. I am. This is not good. This is not good. I have 1 motor mount. I know I had to. What happened to it? I think what's going to happen is I want to end this stream because I want to get frustrated. Can't find a square. There it is. I have to dig for everything. Square, 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 that's good. This is no good. We'll have to sand this. Square. It's probably going to be a little too small now. Nope, it'll be fine. In fact, it's still a little big. It's good. Hold your square up against the block and just sand down to the square, and that way you know you got the you got a perfectly square piece. It's pretty simple. There we go. Now I got to find that other motor mount. I hope I didn't throw it out. I'm going to be extremely aggravated if I can't find it. Let's see, it's not over there. Let's see, anybody say anything else here? Oh man, it's 80 degrees in here. Shut that off. What the heck happened to the motor mount? Back when I was younger, I was real astute at where everything was, where everything went. Now I'm so unorganized, it's ridiculous. Can't ever find anything. Stuff will walk away by itself. It's aggravating. What happened to it? We're going to be sunk without that other piece. I had it cut and everything, unless it fell down behind. Look in this voodoo kit and see if I got another piece of motor mount. Got silver monocoat, leading edge, some wire, nothing to speak of. Dig way back here. Ah, I think is that it? Yep. Okay, found it. Fell down behind the workbench. Need to throw some of this crap out. Too much shit in this little tiny apartment. Yeah. Under there. Get under there. Alright guys, it fell down behind the bench. I was starting to get real aggravated. That would have been the end of my building weekend. I couldn't find that. Could have just tinkered around on some little pieces, but that ain't what I want to do. Okay. We got it. So now, so now we're going to put a crutch together. Hopefully the fuselage. No, this glue is not quite dry, so that'll be a good strong bond then. If it dries. But we know the 5 minutes going to work because these are matches. So the first thing you want to do is check your fit of the engine. Now I've preached it a bunch of times. I like 3 degrees motor offset. Let me take the one, I got a couple engines here. Let me take the one without the muffler on it so I can. So if you look here, I've left enough slop in it that you can wiggle the motor back and forth. Now a lot of the guys will say, you don't need motor offset. Well, if you ever watch David Fitzgerald fly, he's on his belly in the overheads. He's got no line tension up on top. So we'll go ahead and put these two in. Why does that look out of square? I guess it'll be all right. I need to see the fuselage because every piece has to mate to each other. So I'm going to take the books off the fuselage so I can get a measurement on this, even though I know it's not completely cured, but it should be good enough to move around. Ooh, almost flipped it off on the floor. Okay. One thing I see here that's going to have to be fixed is a plug is going to have to be put in this wing outlet because I set the tank back into the wing, but that's not a big deal either. Okay, we have a fuselage side here. First crash already. So sticky. And we're setting it back. I gotta have this motor because I'm setting it back 3/4. This motor mount ends way back here. That should be plenty. So it ends right there. Okay, normally your firewall F1 or F1, F2. F2 would go here, but we're going to set F2 back 3/4 of an inch. So F2 is going to be inside the wing, so I need to plug this. I should have figured that before I cut it out, but it's not a problem. I'll just take a piece of 1/4 inch and cut it to shape and set F1 back here. So this is F1. And this is F1. We don't want it too close, so we'll put 3 marks back. And this one will be right here. And we'll measure the distance, make sure I got about 7 inches. Seven and a quarter. That's good enough. Okay, I can now put this piece back on this wax paper where it's safe. Okay, it's back where it belongs, curing. Got to clean up that goober or else I'll be sticking parts on there. Okay. So this piece here I'm making is another integral. I can't even say the word. Integral part of that crutch that I just made. It has to be perfect. It has to be glued good and solid. So we got inch and 51 thousandths, inch and 501 thousandths. Close enough. Put this one on the other side. Where's the square? There it is. Okay, I'm going to glue one of these one at a time. We're going to use 5-minute epoxy, glue them one at a time. You'll see why here in a minute. Get out some wax paper again. We're going to glue this side first. We'll turn this around. Can anybody figure out why I'm doing them one at a time yet? It's because I'm not at home and I don't have the room to do what I would normally do. So, 5-minute epoxy. We'll get this whipped up here on the top. We don't need a big thing. Break out the popsicle sticks. You can't use 5-minute epoxy for motor mounts. Okay. I don't know how many of you guys have seen my actual airplanes, but they're not bad. And I have yet to have any failures doing things the way I do them. I did have a brain fart in Huntersville on that profile that I built. I crashed that profile in about I don't know, maybe the 5th flight. Because like a dummy, I forgot to put a jam nut on the elevator horn, and the push rod come off. And on the second turn of the square 8, it just flew along straight, had a mind of its own, and right straight into the ground. Don Jenkins was there. Ain't nothing I could do about it. Totally my stupidity. But you know what? It won't happen again. People make mistakes. Man, try not to. That was going to be a nice airplane. It flew really well. It was a profile of these numbers right here. So we want to turn this way. Okay. Time for some more clamps. These kind of glued up. Can make some flaps today too, I guess. A lot of things I'd like to make today, but is there enough time in a day? Okay, we'll just have to sit and wait for that to dry. Shouldn't be long. Let's see if we got any chatters here. Yep, it's a 3/8 piece of glass. Uh, I wish it was a 4x8 sheet, but this is, I mean, I had it cut to fit this. This is what I got to work with. If I had more room, it'd be a 4x8 sheet. How to be a millionaire in this hobby? Start out with 2. Wipe the excess glue off. There is no need to carry around a bunch of goober. It's almost dry now. It'll be ooh, it's hot. Be another minute or so. This is not really where you get the strength from in the motor mount. This is just the how do I put it? The sum of the whole is the total. I mean, if that makes sense. No one single part is the strength of the whole airplane, but if you do it in a way where you're using one part to the next, the sum of the total is a strong unit. Just like I told you, the nose has to feel like a baseball bat. The noses on my airplane feel like a solid piece of wood because, first off, they're built like this, then they're fiberglassed and finished. You know, they're not soft. And the wing must attach to the motor mounts. What you're doing with that is you're transferring the vibration from the engine into the wing and down the line so that the engine runs consistent. So if you have a structure that's flitter-flottering around, you're never going to get a consistent engine run. So I don't know how many of you guys have built I-beam wings, but you would never think, well, I-beam wing, that ain't going to hold together. Well, the actual strength of the wing is the sum of the total, meaning that the tissue paper is part of the total structure. The beam, the way that it's set up, the ribs themselves offer no strength whatsoever. Of course, I take my Kevlar thread too, and I sew the ribs, which I've shown before. You can't break this with your hands. If you try to break this thread with your hand, you will cut your fingers off. It's that strong. Parachute rigging thread. Okay, we should be good to go here. Yeah, it's cooled off. Wait another, get me a soda. Yeah. I hope you guys learned something from these videos. I mean, the reason I do them is just like I was saying last night on the chat until 3 in the morning, is that this hobby's going to die if we don't pass it on, you know. So I don't know everything. I know enough to build a nice airplane. I'll guarantee you that. My way isn't the only way to do things, but it's a way that works. So you do what you want, and you can watch whoever you want, but make good decisions, because there's a lot of misinformation. A lot. I've got a steam generator. I'm going to be doing some more molding. You know, I say this winter, but shit, winter's past already. We're already into summer, but being that this is the third week of lockdown, thank you very much for the super chat, Scott. You guys, if you guys can help out the channel, the super chats always help. I hope that you guys get something out of this. Anyway, back to molding. I was going to design up a whole airplane similar to an Al Ray Bearcat. Not an Al Ray Bearcat, or not anything like that, but in that type of construction where it's got a skeleton and a skin, and the sum of the total is the strength of the whole. And I bought a steam generator, and we got the big piece of metal at work to bend up into a steam cabinet, but we still haven't got around to making it because there's just not enough time in a day. I mean, a lot of times when I go over to John's, I say, well, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and this. You don't get shit done. Okay, see how nice this comes off? So now you got a clean surface again. Piece of epoxy here, clean surface here. Those 3M tape containers are a wonderful epoxy mixer. Okay, so we know that's good enough to move around. You say, well, why did he do that? Well, that's so I could clamp it straight on that piece of glass. So now I'm going to take my razor plane, if I can find it. I better use a knife. Razor plane, it might clog it. And then I'll be cussing. There's a knife. I'll scrape off the goober. Yeah, I got a feeling that glue would clog my razor plane. Then I'll be upset. There we go. If you guys can do super chat, that would be great, because this channel has fallen way off because of the virus. Okay. Okay. A lot of guys drill their motor mounts. I don't suggest doing that. It doesn't really save that much weight. If you're going to do anything, you want to taper them back this way. I don't have any way to do that, so I'm going to have to suffice with what I got. And once I get this all in there, I'll take a motor tool in there and grind out behind where I don't need and where this meets the wing. So we'll take a little weight off of it that way. But you want this to be pretty stout. Okay, So now we're going to glue in the cross pieces and then the other one. Hello, Dennis. Okay, Scott. The hinges work great. Hopefully you can figure it out. There are some people using my method with some success. John Jordan, I think. I can't remember his name now. Phew. Tom Creasy. I mean, the hinges work great. Any system will work though, as long as you're meticulous in how you do things. Okay, 1 and 2. So this is 2. This is 1 up here, 2 back here. We're going to leave an 1/8. Good tight glue joints, remember that. There we go. This sets your airplane parameter right here. If you want to start with the first piece, this would be a good first piece. Now, believe it or not, I have glued this stuff together with CA, and it's worked fine. Now I'm just squaring things up because I want, when my F1 fits in there, I want it to fit in as tight vertical as possible with as little amount of glue as possible. See, that's basically what you're trying to get by with. You're trying to glue things together without glue, just like I paint without paint. Tighter the joint, the less glue you need. So I've seen people on Facebook, perfect joints. Not even close. Not even close. Okay, let's measure this up, make sure that we got it going right before I glue it. Because once you glue it, you're committed. Okay, my airplane is going to be 1/2 inch more than this. My airplane's a 2 3/4 wide at the nose. So we have 202 and 213 thousandths. And on this side, yeah, we ain't building a watch. It's 2 thousandths off. That's close enough. We're not building a watch, so 2 thousandths within the ballpark. Guys, where I work, it's 3 inches out. That's close enough. Yeah, that's close. I was told to cut these. The back of this truck. The back of this truck has a half-inch piece of steel between the long sills, so hanging down to the bumper. So I built this bumper in this half-inch piece of steel. It's a half inch by 3 foot wide by 24 inches tall, and they wanted the lights recessed into the half inch. And Jerry says, I want to be able to get the lens out of there. So I took the lens off the light and I traced around it with a white grease pencil, cut it out with a torch, and ground it with a grinder, just so that the lens would slip in and out. You can't get the light out, but you can get the lens in and out of the light. And just Friday, he said, look at that truck there. They had a big old gap, like 2 inches around, and it was a square hole. He did say he liked my light holes better. They weren't perfect, but close as a guy can get without a water jet. What are you gonna do? What I'm doing now for work is just like model airplanes, only with steel. And instead of CA, I gotta glue it together with a MIG welder. Kind of neat, really. I mean, that wasn't my forte training. I was an aviation structural mechanic, but that was more sheet metal. And then I got over 40 years experience as a mechanic. But I'm not a mechanic, and I'm fabricating, so whatever. It's the same as this here. Model airplanes will teach you so much in life you can't believe it. Okay, so now we're going to glue this pile of stuff together. Let's get out the big clamps here. Get all the clamps ready. I had already marked on the crutch where these went, but we'll check it again to make sure. Yep, we're good. Now this crutch, I'm hoping is under 3 ounces. I pretty much know what every part weighs or what it should weigh. To try to keep it within my weights. I'd love for it to weigh nothing, but that's not how it works. But this and the doublers are the only spots you use lots of glue. I can't say lots, enough glue. See, if I was over John's, I'd have put these on the mill and whittled a slot in them. I don't know how much that would take out, but something's better than nothing. Okay. First thing you want to do is make sure the nose, they're the same length, that it's square. Push it up to the square and the length. And we're going to clamp it together this way. Oh, look at that. Got to do it equally. Didn't like that. Double check your work. Make sure that it's square. Yep. And so we'll wait a few minutes for that to dry. We'll do the time management deal. We're going to have to sand that up, clean all the edges, all the extra glue off. Get a paper towel. You do not want to carry around extra glue. It's already setting. It's alright. What's left will block sand off. Alright, we've been on an hour and a half. I'm looking forward to watch a covering video of this plane to make a decision if to use dope or polyurethane. Richard, there must be 25 videos already up there on covering, doping. I mean, you're more than welcome to watch this process, but I have over 1,000 videos up now on my channel, but there's at least 25 different painting, covering videos on there. And that's basically one of the reasons why I wish I could get somebody I could trust to organize my channel. Well, I don't know whether you guys want me to keep doing these things over and over and over again, because it's exactly the same every time. 3 coats of dope, sand, silk span, 3 coats of dope, sand, a coat of clear, 1 pint of color, it's sand, 3 coats of clear, put on, or a coat of clear, put on the trim and ink lines, 3 coats over the top of that, rub it out and go. I mean, it's the same thing. But if you're going to do dope, be prepared for Elbow Grease City. You will be buying elbow grease by the case. Okay. Having fun in lockdown? Unreal. This is the 3rd week in lockdown. If they keep me in lockdown much more, I'll have to get another apartment. I won't have any place to keep all the airplanes. Of course, I don't do anything anyway when we're not, but that's close enough. Okay. Take it loose, clean it up. Let's see how close I am to 3 ounces. Landing gear is 3 ounces, crutches are 3 ounces, stabilizer 3 ounces. I mean, that's if you're building light too. It's not. But the nice thing about this, of course you don't want any heavy parts, but it's on the right end of the barbell. Okay. Where's my little, there it is. Be very careful with this surface. This surface here is the sets the incidence of the airplane, so you don't want to change this surface too much. I'm just cleaning off any of the boogies with 180. This surface right here sets how the airplane flies. You got to measure off of that surface right there. It'll make more sense when I show you. Right now I'm trying to get this down perfectly flat so that when I glue the 64th plywood over the top, it makes a nice monocoque situation. We're also going to put one stick in the middle here. Yeah. Uh-oh. Sick. You're coughing. Yeah, I'm coughing. Come over here. I'll show you how to cough. Do a little balsa dust. Okay, so now what's left to do is to make a F1, F2, and put a piece in the center. We'll use this light piece right here. I think it's 1/2 inch. It is. We got any more chatters over here? Bored to watch a covering video. Okay, still the same guys. I want to thank Scott for the super chat, and you guys can help out. That helps the channel out because of all this stuff. We never did make anything on these, but now we're making so much less it's ridiculous. Let's see what we got here for likes. 9 likes, $5, 11 viewers. I won't be able to tell how many hours were watched until after the video's done, but I need to shrink this up this way. It doesn't go anymore. Okay. I guess we can use it right there. I'm operating this on one screen, but whatever. We'll get it down. Now, I don't think I'll epoxy this piece in. I'll just CA it in. It'll be plenty good. However, if I can find it, I will be cutting it with my miter box. What did I do with it? down here, but who knows. I think what I'm going to do after this video is over today is I'm going to go through all this stuff and throw out what I don't need, because I got no room. Rearrange this stuff so I can find something. What happened to the miter box? Found that knife finally. We'll need that. I won't find it until I don't need it. Okay. Yeah, I just was using the square, so we'll use the square to cut this. Damn. I'd rather have the miter box, but that works. I'll have to sand that a little bit there. Yeah, we want it the proud way. I don't know if you guys ever heard me talk about trust your eyes as far as measurements go, and you know, I always say that looks about right. We're going to put this in here. I'm going to glue it, and then we're going to measure it. Just as a test. See how many thousandths out I am. Yeah, it looks about right. Maybe a little bit thousandths more this way. Oop, too far, I think. Yep. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect anyway. It's just kind of a test for me. So we're going to glue it in with some Kwikset. Maybe. Open this one up, I guess. Nope, it's out now. Oh, too much glue. Too much glue. Even CA weighs, so be very careful. Okay, how many thousandths out do you guys think I am from side to side? It's going to be a little different, but shouldn't be very far. In this side, trust your eyes. This side we have 2 and 119 thousandths. And then this side Now remember, I just eyeballed this. It's 2 inch. It's 2 inch 119 thousandths on one side. That was on this side here. On this side, ah, shoot. It's 2 inch 109 thousandths. So my eyes can see 10 thousandths of an inch. Not bad. And in my world, that's a winner because we're not building the watch. Glue on there. I think I said to somebody I can see 10 thousandths. I can't remember who it was. You show me if I get to hold one piece that's 1 inch and one that's 1 inch and 10 thousandths, I can tell you the difference just by looking which one's bigger. I can't tell you how much, but it's immaterial. It's just something fun to play with. You should be able to see perpendicularity and parallels too fairly well if you've trained your eye for as many years as I've been building. These are just a few. I have to wait a little bit more on that. A few things that happen along the way in model airplane building. So let's go over here and we'll take my books off. We still need to make some firewalls and some mounts, but we'll be all right. Okay. Parts we have from earlier in the day. Oh, we want to see what that weighs. I want to be honest with you guys all the way through this process. You know, there's no need for me to say, well, my airplane weighs 48 ounces when it's 78 ounces, like a lot of guys do. Or this weighs X amount when it really weighs 10 times that. So let's see how close to 3 ounces I am for that part. Be nice if it was 275, but I don't think so. It's lighter than I thought, though. How about 2.15? We're in there. Man, I'm happy. That's great. So 215, and this fuselage weighs 215. We're at 435, 5356. This will be under 7 ounces. This is great. This is the weights are correct so far on this. So now we need to clean up the carbon and kind of marry these fuselage sides. Need to sand them to shape. I also need to plug that hole too. Remember when they say, you can't do that? Tell them, go watch stunt hanger videos. Do it just fine. Okay. Now I don't know whether I have a piece of 1/4 inch to fit in that plug. I'm going to have to figure out how to get that to fit in perfect. Not that it will show, it's just that it would be best for gluing purposes. I don't need much. See, part of the plug is on the inside where the fuel compartment is, and the wing, of course, is up on the leading edge, so it doesn't much matter. So we'll see what we can do. But I kind of like to do this all in steps so that I don't have to come back and redo this stuff when I'm getting ready to put it together. And when you think about it, this airplane's really almost done. There's only 4 components of the airplane, really. I don't have time. Well, you ain't working now because it don't take no time to do this. Okay. I guess the first thing we're going to want to do is clean this area out here so I can make that plug. We'll do that with a Dremel. Now most of you will be building airplanes that will have this hole exactly like this. But because I'm an oddball and set my fuel tanks back into the wing, this is a modification that you have to make. Okay, so I need 2 pieces of 1/4 inch. Here's my wing plug. This is part of the perfect fit system. Let's see if it fits perfect. So this is the same shape as the wing, and that's how much gap you're going to have all the way around, which is none. When you go in, see it, you got a center line there and a center line there, and everything fits perfect so that you don't have to use a whole lot of putty. Less putty, less weight, less glue, less. Can't explain that enough. Let's see if it fits in this one. Nope, gonna have to grind some more there. force it in, but let's take a little more out on the top there. It was a booger of glue. That's why it wouldn't go in there. A bouquet. Okay. So that's a perfect fit now too. It leaves about a 64th of an inch all the way around. And this is the exact size of the wing. This is the rib that's over where the fuselage will mate with the sheeting put on it. I use 332nd sheeting. So it's the rib with 332nd all glued all the way around it. Sanded, fitted real smooth. And this is what you use as your plug or your pattern for your fuselage side. So that when you draw this out and get this plug to fit in perfectly, when I saw the fuselage in half at the center here and pull this off and put them back together, they fit perfectly. No jiggering around. That's a Bob Hunt setup. I'll give credit where credit's due. He came up with it. Man's done a lot for stunt. Only claim to fame I got is stunt hanger. Okay. So I'm going to wait on those until after I get the motor mounted because I don't know exactly where it's going to sit. I want the needle valve to come out at the brake. At the brake right here. Or no, right here. So that I don't have to take the needle valve out of the spray bar to get the motor in and out. So now we got to figure out how this all goes together. I could put this together without drilling it, but I think I'm going to try to drill it using the old method with the square in the vise. So let's see how we're going to fit here. Yep, I can still get my 3 degrees in there. It's tight, but I need to cut that land out. So, where I'm going to use 1/8 inch ply as my 1/8 inch ply F1, 1/8 inch ply, light ply F2. No need for all this aircraft ply and all this other nonsense. Just not there. You don't need all that strength. Sum of the parts makes the whole of the strength of the total. Just remember that. And I've done this a million times this way. These airplanes are so far overbuilt, it's ridiculous. Okay, so that's that one. Okay, I got the end. I need a bigger workbench. You have said it there, buddy. There we go. All right, I'm gonna need this knife, but where's the blades for it? Of course, they're gone. They're in this pile somewhere. I thought they were hanging. I thought I hung them back up. There's my little square I've been looking for. Let's throw this paper out. Come on. Yeah, we don't need these right away. Yep, next video when I come back, you're going to find this all cleaned off, because this is aggravating. There's the miter box I was looking for. Of course, I don't need it now. I need a real X-Acto blade, because you can't use those surgical blades to cut plywood. Well, we'll try the number 22 blade to see if I can get it to cut with that. So, I don't know if this is going to work or not. It's all in desire. I don't have a jigsaw here. I got a little bandsaw over John's house. I got no place to put it. Yay, we got it. Now this piece has to be exactly the same width as this piece, which it is, and it has to be square. So now we need the square. Can't find that. There it is. Which it's not, see? If you put that together like that, your fuselage would be leaning. So we know these two lines are parallel. We're going to need to straighten up this end. This ain't Devers. Okay. So now we have our piece of lumber cut. Lumber alert. And we know that this is going to fall back, I need to make a mark on where this goes so that I can start. Actually need to cut this out of here. Cut that out of there so I can get the motor set down in there all the way. And this doesn't have to be perfect, we'll sand it to shape. See, that's the nice thing about sandpaper. Not building a watch. Okay. Little tight, really. Should have made it a little bit bigger. So, but it'll be fine. So I need to block it up with my titanium motor pads to get an idea. It could have been probably 10 thousandths more, but I was too busy showing you guys I could see 10,000. Not a problem. I'll just set it in there like so. We need to set this in there like so, get it where it needs to be. We're going to come back to here. Okay, you wonder what the heck am I doing here? I'm trying to get the length of this piece here. So we know it's here. We know it's this, at least this tall. But that's not correct. It's 3/16 less than that. Where's my square? And there we are. So we'll put a line here, and we're going to make it 3/16 less than this piece here. And can anybody tell me why? Because our datum line is that top line, but our build line is 3/16 of an inch below that. Where the heck did my ruler go? Shee-manatly. I guess I can use this. Can't hardly see it though. There we go. 1, 2, 3/16. So now I need to cut that on that 3/16 line. And that will be perfect. So let's cut that. Make sure to keep everything square. If you're not building square, straight, and light, you're not building. You might as well give it up. Unless you want to whittle it up. Okay. No, not enough yet. Where you could find that box of number 11s I had. I know it's here somewhere. But trust me, when I come back this afternoon, that bench will not look like that. Okay. So now I need notches for 3/8 by half motor mount. So we'll use the back saw for that. And I'm sure I'll have to file because I'm going to leave the line on. So 3/8 by half. Yeah, of course. The end that you can't see is the only end I can use like that. Oh, shoot. Good thing I didn't do that. This was my grandfather's square. Okay. I don't have a jigsaw. I have a handheld jigsaw, but we ain't gonna attempt to do these on that, so we'll use the back saw here. Looks easy, doesn't it, guys? It is. Okay, we'll see if this fits. If not, we'll have to make another one. Close. Good enough. So now, I'll make sure this is square across this way. And it's not. Oh, helps if you tighten the square up. Yep, that'll be good. Okay, so we'll glue that in. Hello, Evolution Gliders. I guess that's what that says. I can't see across the room. Evolution gliders. Oh, hello. Hope you guys hope you learned something out of the videos. Been on 2 hours now. I know my videos are extremely boring. At least they are for me. So let's see if we did this right. Perfect. Okay, all the measuring and cutting that we just did in this last little ditty, I'm going to show you what it amounts to. And this is what sets airplanes apart. I mean, anybody can glue some stuff together. Anybody can sand some things. Anybody paint. But you need to know these little tricks that I'm showing you to build a better airplane. So that it comes out perfect. And when I mean perfect, what I mean by perfect is, let me get the camera over here. I'll point this down. So this bulkhead here, it's within a 64th of an inch from side to side. 64th is a pencil line. I could have, cut it on the other side of the pencil line and sanded it, but whatever. I measured all this stuff up, figured it all out, and when you put this together, this is perfect, at the perfect height right here. Perfect. I mean, you can't get any better than that. So now we have to glue this thing together. I don't really like the way this is leaning though. I might have to cut this back with a scalpel. Everything being hand done, not being machine done, you can't really get perpendicular cuts. You have to sand them. So that's better. Okay. So your crutch consists of F2, F1, and a piece of 64th plywood over the top of this box to lock it all together. Should be 3 ounces. This is at 215 now, where it was before we added that part. We could weigh it and see what it weighs. $225. So by the time I get the 64th ply on there, it'll be right at 3 ounces. I know I just pulled out that little square because I said I'd need it. What did I do with it? Yeah, very frustrating. Okay guys, I think I'm going to end the video here and I'm going to clean this mess up. I'll be back after lunch with everything sorted out maybe, and we'll go ahead and finish building the fuselage. I had my little square, my machinist square, and I can't find it. And I know you're going to say, oh, it's right there. No, that's not the one. That's not the one. I cannot believe it disappeared like that. I mean, just poof, gone. Aggravating. There's just so much stuff here sitting on this workbench. There's no way to no way to check it out. I mean, nowhere to keep track of everything. There it is. So we're going to take this little square here, put this on here, square that up this way, make sure it's square this way, which I know it is. I guess I could just see it right there. Or I'll use 5 minutes. I know. I said I was going to quit. Yeah. I'm going to have to clean the edges up on top before I do this. That way the datum line will stay straight. Now what I was talking about, we're going to have to plug a hole. That's the hole we're going to have to plug, because that's how far back into the wing the fuel tank sits on my models. But that's not a big deal. I'll just take my plug there and cut a piece of 1/4 inch to that shape, glue it in, finish it off, and that'll be it. That'll be how it goes. Or maybe I'll just use 1/8 inch, and that way it can kind of plug together. That's what I'll do, 1/8 inch instead of 1/4. So I hope you learned something. Probably not, but nothing better to do than watch some old guy play with toys. It's hard to believe I'm old. We all get old, though. Better than the alternative. Okay, guys, like, subscribe, share the videos. Be back after lunch. Till I see you again. Fair winds, tight lines. Keep flying. Keep building. See ya.